Okay, our colleagues, to the resolutions, and call of the districts, actually beyond resolution, of course, we will do motions and call the districts, mindful of the fact that there is a semi-important baseball game going on. Colleagues on motions and calls of the district, Mr. Jenkins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, and I promise we're not going to be that late, Mr. Chairman. Yep, the way that the Yankees played the other night, it really wouldn't have mattered anyway, right? You know, so, and as a Bronx boy and a Yankees fan from the day I was born in the Bronx, I would tell you that the thing that we were trying to talk about this evening was just as important as us getting out on time. There is not a great time for this, and we definitely need to continue this discussion. Mr. Chairman, we certainly will adjust the motion for the future. I'm confident that we actually could have used a different section in the motion to suspend all rules, which is why I know that this is your feeling, Mr. Chairman, that people need to be very careful about putting those on, because you don't know what things could happen from that motion. And by the way, the legislation is very clear that says that any legislator could put on that suspension of the rules, and by the way, any legislator could act upon any piece of that, because it's a vote of the majority of the board that would move something forward. So something for folks to think about as they continue to do that. I know this is a Mr. Chairman, that you've asked repeatedly. In this particular case, though, Mr. Chairman, that we have a scenario where the legislature is being disrespected. Last year, we found out about this. You found out about this, Mr. Chairman, this gun show that was happening at the county center. You found out in the third week of December, right around the holiday times. I know that you were in the middle of your holidays, and you found out about that, and there was action that this board was contemplating, executed, and moved forward with based on finding out at the last minute. There were certain colleagues that had a point of suggesting that this was done in the last hour. If we would have enacted this law, it would have been terrible from a business perspective. Everything was in readiness. Everybody was moving forward. Okay, all that stuff could be true for them. That can't be true right now. Right now, the county executive doesn't even claim that there's a gun show that's going to happen. And although the vendor is advertising for people to participate, for vendors to participate at a gun show that there is no contract signed for, I think that it's unconscionable that we as a legislature have not spoken. My friends on the other side of the aisle have clearly stated that they were opposed to the Nazi paraphernalia. They were clearly opposed to the racist and anti-Semitic things that were there. In fact, you all signed a letter to say that. We need to do better than to say a letter. The bump stocks that we all found out about are accessories. They're like a case on an iPhone that you could have purchased. There's no regulation to that. And we found out the level of destruction that could have had with that kind of bump stock that's sold on tables around the country at things like a gun show. And if that kind of thing doesn't stop us to take pause to say, you know what, do it somewhere else. Because that's all this thing was saying. It didn't say you can't have a gun show in Westchester County. It said on our county property, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to talk about Confederate things. And you know what? Bobby Ferrito was talking about something that we were celebrating tonight with our Italian heritage and some of the quote-unquote political correctness. And I look at that and I am disappointed. Not in his comment, I'm disappointed in us because we can help separate things like this. Because the comment about Christopher Columbus, that's not going to change anything in statues in Columbus Circle and recognition for Columbus Day. But you know what? The Confederate flag argument's a different argument altogether. There is not a conversation that says, oh yeah, that Confederate flag, those folks that happen to be treasonous against the United States, there's not a problem with that. We shouldn't really be having this discussion. We should be clear at this point in time that this legislature is setting a policy that says we're not going to have gun shows in our county center. We're not going to have to worry about anti-Semitic, racist, homophobic, date rape, or any other kind of symbols that might happen to come along with a gun show. And I don't think any of us continue to need to be in that position that we're calling for something and mourning the tragedy of things that have happened. This Las Vegas massacre thing is a nightmare to the NRA. It's a nightmare. A person that legally bought some guns and put on an illegal piece of equipment that's sold at gun shows. Mr. Chairman, I understand that there is uncomfortableness with people in this chamber about that, but guess what? That's what our job is, and I think we need to do that. And Mr. Chairman, rest assured, and all my colleagues should rest assured, that we will be bringing this back at the next meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The colleagues' motion.